Rupert Murdoch said it best. News Corp's fiscal third quarter was, quote, one of challenging comparisons, mostly because of Avatar, the blockbuster that boosted year-ago earnings. So profit fell 24% and revenue dropped 6%. David Bank is here to tell us how to read the News Corp earnings report and what to expect in the months ahead. David is a Bloomberg Best media analyst from RBC Capital Markets. So, David, challenging comparisons for sure. You don't get a film like Avatar every quarter. Tell us what you make of it, because it's not just a movie studio. They have a gigantic cable business. They've got publishing, the Wall Street Journal, The Daily, MySpace.
We kind of knew this was a pretty tough comp, and I think with most of these companies, hit-driven businesses like the movies, we tend not to focus so much on them as the more core earners like the cable channel business as well as the TV business. And for these guys, we think the difference is you really want to look to 2012, where they're going to be building momentum. They've got the B-Sky-B acquisition coming. They've got the shutdown of MySpace. They've got the easy comp with Cablevision and Dish from the retransmission consent wars, sort of building a lot of tailwind for them in 2012 that other guys haven't. And the other thing one of the reasons we really like the stock is that momentum building. We got incremental information last night that in the summer of 2012, one of your competitors, the Fox News Channel, will see a reset of its affiliate fees. That was a huge driver of earnings, in the last cycle, and we're going to see the whole thing start all over again.
Yeah, it was Chase Carey who was talking about that, right? He said it's not just Fox, but some of News Corp's other cable channels are going to get higher sub fees.
Yeah, but the big driver is going to be Fox News Channel. And then the other thing he was talking about was the retransmission consent fees for the broadcast stations. So they've just got like a ton of momentum in a sector where people are starting to worry about late-stage recovery getting tired.
Does this differentiate News Corp in your mind from other media companies?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it makes it one of the most attractive stocks in the group right now. That what catalyst can I look to? What do we have in 2012 and 2013? It's a unique quality. I think the other part being the B-Sky-B acquisition. Look, they may or may not do B-Sky-B. I think Chase is really posturing. He's negotiating very publicly on a price. This company has $12 billion of cash on its balance sheet right now.
They can afford it.
They could probably afford to pay.
Do you think they'll step up to that 800 pence number?
I think 900 sounds like it's about the number that will start to give them a nosebleed.
900. All right, let's talk about advertising revenue, because I took a quick look at some of the other advertising numbers that we've seen from other media properties. News Corp compares very favorably.
Yeah. Well, what I would say is, let's just say from a secular perspective, the cable channel business right now is on fire. Overall, the market is incredibly tight, and that's carrying into calendar second quarter, their fiscal fourth, and frankly, the 2012 upfront. So they did really well. I think when you compare them to Viacom, to Time Warner X, the NCAAs, to Discovery, to Scripps, you're going to see a report this morning, that we're talking about core double-digit growth. It's just an incredibly strong sector.
But how long can it last, I guess, is the question.
Well, I guess we don't know for sure, but they are taking audience share, and national television in general is much more resilient than we thought. And for a hint of how long it can last, we're walking to the upfronts right now, expecting double-digit price increases, big volume increases, and if the NFL goes on strike or gets locked out, look out. There's a massive tightness in inventory. It brings everybody up.
But going back to your earlier point, in the case of News Corp, let's say the growth of advertising revenue starts to flatten out. They have more working for them than perhaps some of the rivals.
Just more tailwind there.
How about some of the underperforming stuff? You mentioned MySpace. They're hoping to get rid of it, trying to sell it. There's a report that they may sell ING.com, some web news gaming sites. And then The Daily hasn't really been a hit thus far, has it?
Right. Well, so for MySpace, you're losing between $150 and maybe $250 million a year. So by just closing the doors, you got a huge tailwind behind you. I don't know what they're going to get for it. Sometimes you see numbers in the $150 to $100 million range. Just as long as it's shut down, it's going to be a huge tailwind.
Should they sell it for $1?
That's a layup. I would sell it for $1 personally. I guess maybe somebody's willing to pay more. That's terrific.
And The Daily?
I think for The Daily,
failure, no failure.
It was definitely a drag on earnings this quarter. And I think they had some other issues in the publishing business. There were floods in Australia, some kind of macroeconomic events we couldn't control. I don't think The Daily's a huge needle mover is the short answer.
No, well, we'll have to see how it does. David, thanks so much for joining us. David Bank of RBC Capital Markets, a Bloomberg Best on Media, talking to us about News Corp.